on that field today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. He can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is not over. Hey, good afternoon. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm AJ Jones, man. So glad to be with you on this winning Wednesday. Got a shout out to my good folks over at BS3 Network. If you got your Roku streaming device and you have not downloaded BS3 TV, get it, do it. Download BS3 TV and you'll be rocking and rolling with all of the great content that we have on the network. And if you don't have a Roku streaming device, you're not left out. Trust me. That was for you, Willie Gibson. All you got to do is go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. Man, we are days away from the Final Four, men and women, and I'm about to start a marathon support or coverage of the Final Four, both on the women's side. I'll start out Friday in Dallas. I'll be back on Saturday in Houston to cover the men's, and then I'll be back in Dallas on Sunday for the women's championship game, and then back on Monday for the men's championship game. And I don't feel no ways tired. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And we are one sleep away from Major League Baseball opening day for the Houston Astros and several other teams. That's going to be very interesting. You know, they are done with spring training baseball. At least the Astros are. They've got their opening day roster intact. Some surprises, nothing major, nothing to write home about. Framber Valdez will get the start against the Chicago White Sox, and we'll see if the Astros can repeat, go back-to-back as World Series champions. They got to do it without Justin Verlander. He took another deal elsewhere, so it's on the young arms, if you will, of the Astros pitching staff. All right, so that's that. Now, in an NBA, coming down to the final stretch. Teams are jockeying to get at least in that top 10 so they can be in the play-in round of the game. Some teams are jockeying to be in that number 6 spot, the top 6, so they don't have to be in the play-in round. And some teams are trying to play for that creep, plot, going for that number 1 spot. Houston Rockets, Detroit, Spurs. We'll see what happens down the stretch there, but it is going to be very interesting. Again, I'm hoping that Steven Silas, head coach of the Rockets, survives another less than 20 win season so that that they can get that number 1 pick. And then let's see what they look like when they hit it strong. There's still valid rumors out there that James Harden wants to come back to Houston and be a part of whatever they're going to do next, which is interesting because he sounded totally different, the opposite, the antithesis of that when he left out of here, even drawing the ire of Boogie Cousins and John Wall. So we'll see. We'll see how all that plays out. And the quarterback dramas, man, the dramas with the quarterback. And you know, the king of drama is right in the middle of it. Apparently, Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, wants to hurry up and finalize the deal with the quarterback from Green Bay. Apparently, there's one sticking point, and when they get that thing unstuck, then it'll be done. The quarterback from Green Bay will be in with the Jets, and that'll be their problem. Man, I feel bad for Robert Saleh. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. Oh, but anyway, hey, you know, that's their problem. That's their problem. You know, the Jets will have problems of their own, but we'll see how everything goes. You know, Green Bay, you know, published reports say that Mike LaFleur says that he is not looking for Jordan Love to be that quarterback. He's looking for him to be himself. He's got an offensive scheme in mind for Love, and that you know, he's just going to ask him to be the best Jordan Love that he can be. And I believe that young man's going to step up and surprise some people with that kind of support. You know, you can't expect a young quarterback to fill in for a Hall of Fame quarterback and instantly be a Hall of Famer. Tell people all the time, man, if somebody can come in one day, in one season, and be exactly what, or even greater than what the previous person was, then that previous person wasn't everything that everybody thought they were. You cannot expect a young quarterback to come in and be an instant Hall of Famer when replacing one. So I'm looking forward. They just out of curiosity, I want to see how that works out. I want to see how Green Bay plays without the pressure and the drama and all the antics of a self-absorbed quarterback that will be making his way east. So we'll see how things work out there. The Lamar Jackson thing, man, just it never seems to disappear. Laramie Tunsil, left tackle, all Pro Bowl, all of that from Houston, sent out a tweet. Yo, big dog. I shouted out to him. Hey, come to the H. Man, I'm telling you, that'd be a wise move. That would be a wise move. I know everybody, oh, he doesn't stay healthy, and yeah, he doesn't win in the playoffs. Get him with a head coach like DeMeco Ryans, who is just smart, who is just energetic, who, you know, a lot of folks don't know what he can do because they haven't had the chance to do it. Well, he's got that chance now. Let Lamar be a part of that and see how he can just do what he does so well. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Of course, the draft is April the 27th through the 29th. The Texans hold the number 2 pick. You know, again, aside from all the Texans should have had the number 1 pick if Lovie Smith would have lost the last game to the Colts. Hush. Grown people are talking. You know, the Texans still have their, you know, they're going to get one of the top quarterbacks or have the ability to trade and do something different. I hope they don't trade and move down and get Will Levis from Kentucky. I hope they don't do that. But if they want to package that pick and some other picks and get Lamar Jackson, let's do it. Let's get that happening. That would be outstanding. But they're going to end up with either CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it yesterday, but Hendon Hooker, or, you know, I guess they can end up with Will Levis. Drink my tea on that. That would not be good. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. There's still a whole lot of unknown in the upcoming draft. Who's going to move who? Is Odell Beckham Jr. coming back? Is he ever going to get back on an NFL field? There was a lot of talk about him going to Dallas, a lot of talk about him going to the Jets, a lot of talk about him going other places. But is he going to end up back in the NFL, or will he be a late season addition and rental? I'd love to see him play again. I'd love to see him play again. He'd be a great number 2 somewhere. He'd be a great number 2 somewhere. I don't know if he's still got it to be a number 1, but I'm not saying that he can't. I'm not downplaying that man's ability. I'm just saying get him out there and let's see what he can do. And of course, there's a lot of talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Where can he end up? Again, Cowboy fans are really from what I cover, are really hoping that he can end up in Dallas to go along with CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Be interesting. We'll see who will make some moves come April 27th and the 29th. That's when I think some of these things are going to happen, when these teams are on the clock and maybe a person that they really wanted is no longer available. Will they blink and make a move to bring in one of these players or make a trade or something like that? So we'll see how all that plays out. All right, let me get my first break in here. And then when I come back, I got to celebrate the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge already. Got to be kidding me. We'll do that next, right here on the Lunch Break.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
The world record, and I lost concentration and I fall off that hurdle. I was devastated.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Baxdale está en.
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I said a vehicle took a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
All right. It's close. It's close. It's close. It's closer than it was before. The last hurdle. I want to appreciate Dr. Sharifa Barksdale, her amazing son Javaris, and amazing daughter Gentel. What's up, Grits? All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. And again, if you got a Roku stream device, just download BS3 TV, and you're gonna have some great talk content like Man Talk Monday, Queen 3 and King podcast, and others, including the lunch break. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, just download or just go to the website and check out bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. We're changing the way you watch TV. All right, we got some other good stuff coming. Got some other great content coming. Game changer. Get ready. All right, back to Winning Wednesday here on the lunch break. And last night had a little winning going on in town late, man. Had them kids up late for the McDonald All-American game. It was the East coming back to beat the West 109-106. But Bronny James looked pretty good. Bronny James hitting threes, 15 points. But, showing his outside touch and range. In fact, he had the West up late before the East came back and pulled out the win. So congratulations to all those young people on the men and the women's side, or the boys and the girls side. Many of them already committed to the teams that they're going to play in college with, and going from there. So we'll see. Got to see where Bronny is going to end up. I know Willie Gibson is talking about him coming up to the Ohio State University. They got a young draft class coming in that is supposed to be fire. And if you add LeBron James's son, or LeBron James Jr. to that mix, whoo! All right, yeah. Wisconsin, you can hush. you can hush. In fact, Wisconsin lost last night to North Texas, so they are out of the NIT. And now you've got an all-conference USA final in the NIT. Conference USA might be making that jump in college basketball. We'll see how that plays out. This past year's tournament in March Madness, the two finalists from last year in the NIT championship made it to the tournament. Xavier was a high seed, and then Texas A&M was a 7th seed, I think. So again, stop sleeping on the NIT. No, it's not everything the NCAA March Madness tournament is supposed to be, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be what it is, and teams have been able to get better after making it to that championship. So we'll see how all that plays out. All right, so again, this weekend, Friday night, we've got the women playing up in Dallas. Friday night at 6 Central, it'll be LSU versus Va Tech. And man, I know everybody loves my girl from LSU, which is funny. Wait, real quick, let me digress. So her and her mother, Angel and her mother have the same first name, and obviously, have the same last name, Angel Reese. So you got young men who are trying to holler at Angel daughter on social media and are in the DMs of mama by mistake, because they say, hey, buy you Barbie, and they in the mama's DM, and mama's like, A, be respectful, B, know who you're talking to, and C, chill out on some of that inappropriate stuff. So that's kind of crazy, man. Imagine sending something that you think is going to be, fly to young Angel Reese and end up finding out it's in mama's DM. Whatever shot you thought you were shooting, you ain't got no more shots. Game over. It's over. So pretty interesting. But yeah, Angel Reese and LSU going to take on Virginia Tech this coming Friday at 6 Central up in Dallas. And then the game after that will be Iowa. You know who's leading Iowa, and they will be taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks. That'll tip off at 8. I'm looking forward to seeing both of those live and getting some interviews with the players after the matchups. Then I turn around and come back for Saturday on the men's side. Florida Atlantic, first time in the Final Four, versus San Diego State, first time in the Final Four. That'll be Saturday just after 5 o'clock Central. And again, man, imagine that. One of those teams will have a chance to make the championship game for the first time in their school's history. Boy, I'm excited for those young men. I am excited. I know my bracket was busted long before this thing started, but I am happy for those two teams to know that without a doubt, whoever wins is going to be making their first ever appearance in the championship game. Then in the late game, you got Miami versus UConn, and Miami could get there for the first time if they can knock off UConn, who's been there, done that, and looking pretty good, looking like they're about to do it again. That'll be just before 8 o'clock Central. So again, that's this weekend. Now, let me get to this. The Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge is already a wrap. It is already a wrap. Whew, I thought it was just me with my bracket getting busted, but baby, when Alabama lost, that knocked off a lot of people. When U of H lost, obviously, that took a lot of folks out. But when Kentucky lost, that sealed the deal. That just locked the bracket for everybody. So Jameis Jeter is the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge with 66 points. He got 37 of them right. Out of 64 teams, he got 37 of the games right. So number 2 was Clarence. What's up, Clarence? You were that close. You were down by 2 points, big dog. Down by 2 points. And then Courtney Harden, was down by 6 points. He came in third along with Big Mike. Big Mike had Roll Tide, and they did not roll. Number 5, CJ. Great job, CJ. CJ came in at number 5, tied with Willie Gibson at number 5. Number 7 was Alexis. Baby girl, you got it. Whatever you're doing, don't doubt yourself. You got it on those picks and on the football picks, all right? Then at number 8, Sheridan Cross, young superstar, billionaire in the making. Sheridan was tied with Snowman in the morning at number 8, and then at number 10, Stephanie Love with 51 points. So if you did not hear your name or see your name, please go and check out the standings on the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. All right. So again, Jameis Jeter. Now this time next week, we will be sending you your money. I've already let the sponsors know. We already know who the winner is. So get the cash together, send it over to me so we can send it over to you. So Jameis, if you're listening, get with me. Either text me your Cash App or your Zelle. Either one. We'll do Cash App or Zelle. You need to shoot that over to me at 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. And by this time next week, you'll be $500 richer. All right, so guess what? Basketball is done. It's almost time for football again. So I'll be shooting you out. When it is time to get your picks together for the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. I need to find out how we can use one of those apps like that for the tally, because my young people work very hard on tallying those points. Sometimes, they miss a point or two, but they are very easy to work with. When Al High, I think he had a couple mistakes. We corrected that, got his points right. He made it into the top 6, but unfortunately, man, Miss Pearl, got the top spot. Speaking of Miss Pearl, please keep her in prayer. She lives in Mississippi, and while she was not affected by the storms that went through there, several of her family members and friends were affected, and she really took it hard. So please keep Miss Pearl and everybody affected by those storms in Mississippi and Alabama and surrounding areas. Please keep them in your prayers, because, man, they got hit really, really hard. So I finally heard back from Miss Pearl. She said, yeah, I'm safe, but she also said that, family members and people that she was very, very close to for years, were affected by that storm. So please, please, please keep them in your prayers. All right, let me take my final break, and then we'll come back with more right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon, and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I tell you what, if you've got a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. When you do that, you're going to have access to all those great shows. Snowman in the Morning, Cole Sports, Man Talk Monday, Marriage is Real, all of those, including the lunch break. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, just go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. All right, two things I got to talk about, then I got to go. New president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, new president of the NCAA, is already abdicating his authority and responsibility. He is asking for Congress to hold hearings on name, image, and likeness. He wants regulations on name, image, and likeness. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be the conspiracy theory. You know how it's woke when black people and brown people, wake up to that ain't how that happened. That ain't what's real. And Europeans, oh God, that's woke, woke. But then when they want to come up with all kinds of conspiracy theories, like, Kennedy is coming back. He died, but he's coming back and he's going to take over the government with the former president. That ain't woke. No, it ain't. It's dumb. But anyway, listen, there are a lot of people that don't like name, image, and likeness, including prominent head coaches of major universities, even though many of their young people are benefiting from name, image, and likeness. But when a Nick Saban, Alabama, is out recruited for a player, not even on the rankings, that too, you see how he went off on A&M a couple of seasons ago, but for a player or two, all of a sudden name, image, and likeness is out of control. Miami University had men and women make it to at least the Elite Eight. Men going to the Final Four, women fell just short. They focused on collectives with name, image, and likeness, where they put money together to attract kids to come to the schools. Well, guess what? Those bigger schools, Duke don't like that. How is Miami out recruiting us for that player or that player or that player? Well, they're doing something wrong on name, image, and likeness. So now Congress has agreed to hold its first hearing today on name, image, and likeness oversight and antitrust issues. Man, who said that there should be a law that Alabama gets all the best football players? Who said that should be a law that Kansas and Duke and North Carolina get all the best basketball players? Who said? And why would you get a president that won't do his job? Your job as the president of the NCAA, the National College Athletic Association. Who said that you can't run your own organization? Normally, y'all don't want government in everything, but y'all want government in this. Why? Because other people are benefiting from the profits. Yeah, I said it. And it's weak. If you can't do the job, then they need to get somebody else. And Congress, the same way y'all railed against other parties when they tried to investigate stuff, oh, you got more important things. Well, you got more important things to worry about than this. So that's that. I wanted to talk about that. All right. Well, there was one more thing. The Washington Commanders apparently got two bids of over $6 billion or right at $6 billion. I hate that Dan Snyder gets the benefit from his nastiness. You're a nasty man, Dan Snyder. You are a pervert. You're a freak. Nasty. Just nasty. But he's going to benefit and have the highest franchise sale ever, $6 billion. And then had the nerve to say that he did not want Jeff Bezos to bid on his team. Man, if there is such thing as karma, let me play the former president. Karma, if you're listening, would be real nice if you found Daniel Snyder. It's going to be interesting. We'll see who will own this new team. And the fact that they're going to pay $6 billion, man, I don't know if they're going to get their money back soon. Return of investment. I don't know if the ROI is going to be coming around anytime soon, but we will see. All right, on that note, I got to get out of here. Winning Wednesday. Again, let me say congratulations to young man by the name of Jameis Jeter. Congratulations. We'll be getting with you. Don't forget, send me your Cash App or your Zelle so that we can get you your money by next Wednesday. All right. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it except meet us here tomorrow for a Throwback Thursday. See if I get the OG Chris Gardner on the show with me. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you then.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. Number one, former Vice President Mike Pence was ordered to comply with a subpoena to appear before a grand jury about former President Donald Trump's efforts to subvert the 2020 election results. The grand jury continued receiving testimonies about the hush money case involving Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, and former adult film star Stormy Daniels. Number 2, electricity generated from renewables surpassed coal in the United States for the first time in 2022. That according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Growth in wind and solar significantly drove the increase in renewable energy and contributed 14% of the electricity produced domestically in 2022. But many difficulties lie ahead as solar and wind generate power intermittently. So battery storage, long-distance transmission, and other steps will be needed to help address these challenges. Number 3, Kansas highest court signaled Monday that it still considers access to abortion a fundamental right under the state constitution. The state Supreme Court is considering exactly how far the Republican-controlled legislature can go in restricting abortion under a 2019 decision protecting abortion rights. The U.S. Supreme Court declared in June 2022 that the U.S. Constitution does not protect abortion rights and that states can ban abortion. But the Kansas court ruled in 2019 that access to abortion is protected as a matter of bodily autonomy under the state constitution. Number 4, March 31st of every year, Transgender Day of Visibility is recognized as a day of celebration and awareness for the transgender community. Rachel Crandall, the head of Transgender Michigan, created this day in 2010 in response to the overwhelming majority of media stories about transgender people being focused on violence. In 2023, over 300 anti-LGBTQ bills have been filed so far, with over half specifically targeting trans people, particularly trans youth. Number 5, Lauren Kingsbury has been missing from Laurel, Maryland since March 24th. The 25-year-old was last seen in the 14,000 block of Corba Place, approximately 12:46 p.m. She was wearing gray sweatpants, a dark-colored shirt, and white shoes. Anyone with information about Lauren's disappearance, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Do not be afraid to change yourself for the betterment of your life. Inhale change. Exhale stagnation. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Stephen Hill, Myra J., and our LGBTQ contributor, Quinn Townsend Riley, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you so much to our What You Need to Know partner, the American Heart Association. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.